Have you ever talked yourself out of a sale? Well, unfortunately, this is something I actually did many times at the way beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. And I do not want you to make the same mistake at all. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 4 key secrets so you can better listen during your sales conversation so that you almost always get a yes from a potential client or customer. So make sure to stay tuned to the end because the 4th one's really, really important. Welcome back to another episode of the Pitch Queen Show, where I share my best tips on what it takes to really increase your sales, to be a successful entrepreneur and have a thriving business. Also, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click that bell right there to get notified about all my new videos. Let's talk about secret number 1, okay? It's being present. Being present means like when you're with a potential client in a meeting, you want to make sure that you've cleared away all of your distractions. And you might be thinking, Michelle, well, that sounds really like simple, duh. Well, no, it's really not, because shutting down your email, turning off notifications, actually putting your phone on silent mode, that's all good stuff. And give yourself some time beforehand to really prepare in your mind and refocus. Because if your mind is like wandering all over the place and you're worried about if something other than what's going on with your client and what they're saying to you is going to distract you, then you're probably going to miss out on something really important that they tell you, like some important information. Or the client might be able to tell that you're not really there with them, right? Like you're in outer space. But being present and giving the person that you're talking to the attention they deserve is so important, okay? So that's number 1. And it is a game changer when you implement it. So let me talk about number 2. Stop talking so much. You might be saying, well, Michelle, that seems extremely obvious, but this is so common, especially if you're new to selling, trying to get new clients, getting your products, raising money, whatever it is. It could be nerves, or you could just be thinking that explaining yourself or giving more information will actually get you closer to the sale, when really that's not the case. It's not true at all. And if you've been following me for quite a while, I am sure you've heard me talk about my 80-20 rule. There's a book out there called the 80-20 Principle, so make sure to go check that out too. But this means that anytime you're talking with a potential client or customer, you should only be talking 20% of the time while you let them talk 80% of the time. It's going to seem really uncomfortable and probably counterintuitive, but you'll know what's really going on for your client because you're going to be able to listen to them while they talk, okay? And it can take a lot of practice because, you can do it, but this skill actually takes practice. And let me just share a quick story with you. So yesterday I was with a bunch of accountants and one of them's like, Michelle, I just really want to tell them everything about what's going on with their tax situation. And I'm trying to get a new client and they're selling engagements like $20,000, $30,000. And they just keep talking and wonder what is going on and why things aren't happening the way they want them to. And again, one of the most important things to do is to listen. And the client should actually be talking 80% of the time. You listen 80% of the time, okay? So one of my best tips for talking less are to always have a water like this, okay? Water. Or the mute button on your phone, have that available right to you. So you could go mute, okay? Because these 2 things, you can just like drink water or hit the mute button and then you don't have to hear anything about anybody except paying attention to your client. And this gives the person that you're talking to another moment to actually talk more, maybe finish a thought. Maybe they go into more depth, okay? So it's super important. Water, mute button are your best friends. Secret number 3, take notes. If you're asking the right kinds of questions, and remember to make sure they're strategic and open-ended, and you've built the trust and rapport. By the way, I'm going to link in the description down below the video on how to do that, okay? So if you're like, what are you talking about, Michelle? I've already done a video on that, so you can click that in the comments below or in the description, and it will take you to that. But your client should be opening up and giving you a lot of information. And every single phone call and anything I do nowadays, I literally take notes. So I have a yellow notepad, or you can do it on your iPhone or iPad or Android, but write down the keywords of the important things that they say to you. And if you're worried that it might make them, a little uncomfortable, just let them know up front that what you're doing. So you could say something a little like this, okay? Word for word. I want to make sure that I have all the information that you share with me today. So I'm going to be jotting down some notes. Is that okay? That's it. That's that simple. If you feel a little uncomfortable, if you're in front with a client or if you're on video with a client. But I do a lot of my calls on the phone, so they don't actually know I'm taking notes. That's the way I actually recommend you do it, is to do them on the phone, because you'll be more present, and then the person's body maneuvers, they don't distract you. This will put everyone at ease and allow you to go back if you need to, and allow you to clarify and repeat back what you heard to them so you make sure you got it right. And by the way, that's my next secret. Wink, wink. I can't wink, but Secret number 4. And this is the one I told you to make sure to stick around for, because this is a game changer. Repeat back what they said to you to make sure you got it right, okay? And this could sound something like this. So let's say someone said, Michelle, I'm really having a really hard time with my business and increasing my revenue. Every single month, it's just not going anywhere, okay? So what you're going to want to say is, so what I'm hearing you say is that you're having a really hard time increasing revenue month to month and it's not going anywhere. Did I hear you right? So notice how I repeated back to myself exactly what I said. I did not interpret any meaning into it. So sometimes, a lot of times, this is what you want to stay away from, by the way, are people will say, so you're having a hard time increasing revenue, right? It's really just been a really big struggle and you don't really know what to do. And it's like, no, they never said any of that. So why are you putting words into their mouth, okay? So it sounds too simple, and that's a good thing, but it might feel a little unnatural at first, and that's okay. But just make them feel understood, make them feel heard, and use their exact words to a T. So asking for clarification also shows this, that you're really trying to understand and care about the client and what they're saying. Making this a practice will also keep you present, like we talked about at the beginning of this video. And if you're listening for their words so you can repeat it back to them, you will be less likely to start thinking of a reply or what's going to happen next. Just be present and in the moment. I know that being a better listener is just one of the ways that you can start acting like some of the most successful people on the planet. And now that you are ready to take a deeper dive into maybe how to think and act like an 8-figure entrepreneur and increase that revenue, make sure to download a free guide that I made just for you over at 8figuretipps.com. You can write out the number 8, or you can go EIGHT, figuretipps.com. And lastly, my request to you is, if you like this video, please hit that button down below, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Leave a comment below on how this helped you in really growing your business and having better sales conversations to really increase your revenue, right? Because listening increases revenue. And lastly, if there's a topic that you want me to cover on a future episode right here at the Pitch Queen Show, make sure to leave that comment or send me an email to hello@thepitchqueen.com. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.